when you become a parent, the kid doesn't come with a manual. When you become a special needs parent, they especially don't come with that. And then now we're asking the world around us to be patient with our child, which is really, I get that it's a difficult thing to ask, but I'm just telling you, as one parent, as one voice in this community, there is an entire growing community of autism families that is dying to get out and enjoy San Diego life like all of the rest of us enjoy. And having the patience to look at a family, look, the kid's acting up, he needs to go pace. And back he needs to have something, stemming, with different tools. The parents know all of this stuff. Just to have, the servers and the environment being able to accommodate and being patient with that family is just, it could be transformational.
You're listening to the Capital Craft Podcast, brought to you by the San Diego Brewers Guild, where you can find all things San Diego industry beer related. I'm your host, Eric Fowler.
I'm Jeff Fox with Beer Media Co.
My name is Shahriar Afshar, Executive Director of the Autism Society of San Diego.
Awesome. We are really excited to sit down today. Yourself and your organization reached out a couple months ago, and we get a lot of different partnership requests, but for whatever reason, your request really stood out. So we hopped on a call, and the next thing we knew, we were both excited about talking about the mission of both of our organizations and how we can kind of join forces to better the communities that we serve, which is really what it comes down to. Would you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself, your personal journey in the organization as it stands today?
Sure. Thanks for having me. It's really great to be here, and I love talking with business groups and other community groups. I used to work for local government for 25 years in the city of San Diego, Port of San Diego, among many, many different roles that included Director of Government Relations. I loved community outreach. That was my favorite part of my government life. And I always say, if you don't like public service and talking to people, then don't be in public service, because it's not the thing for you. So I loved every day of my public life. And I left and I worked 5 years for Verizon. And then my entire 30-year working career, I thought, okay, I'm done. I have a special needs son. He's autistic. He's 17 years old. He's nonverbal. I felt like he's now my full-time job at the second chapter or the last chapter of my life. Mm-hmm. But when the Autism Society San Diego came calling, I just couldn't say no. It was a conglomeration of everything I've done in my life, my public affairs and community work, and being a dadvocate for my son. And that's what happens to you as a parent. Yeah, you become your son, or you could be a momvocate too, by the way, just to be correct. You become your kid's number one advocate. Everywhere you go, you're standing up. You're dealing with school districts, insurance. There could be bullying, and any number of things could be happening, and you find yourself really focused on that. So it kind of all came together, and the Autism Society of San Diego, being one of 70 different affiliates around the country. There's a national one, Autism Society San America. So we're all united, but we're all acting independently. And this has been a real privilege in the 3 months I've been here to be able to talk with community members and take our message to every group that will listen to us.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And could you tell us a little bit about what the Autism Society does on a daily basis? Like what the organization, what your goals are, your mission,
Sure.
Things like that?
This group has just done phenomenally. I'm going to say before I ever got here, for 30 plus years, they've been organizing community events, what I call judgment-free zones for parents and families that have a kid on the spectrum. And if you are aware of some of the behaviors that some of these kids could exemplify, as sweet and kind and loving as they are, they sometimes are not able to control their behaviors. And parents like myself are self-conscious, so we don't always go to everywhere you can go to without, a neurotypical child. So we have pool parties, pizza parties, dance parties, camps where families go for the weekend, Camp Marston and Julian, twice a year. The pool party we have at the Boys and Girls Club in Claremont Mesa once a month. People drive from all over the county just to go to that closed pool just for 2 hours, just to just kind of be wild and free. Mm-hmm. And it's just a beautiful thing to watch. You see, a lot of older kids with significant behaviors and mild behaviors. The spectrum, just like it's called, is a very, very wide spectrum, and you could have mild anxiety and some social behaviors and then some significant behaviors. But we create those judgment-free zones. As a parent, when you enter that space, you're completely relaxed and free. It's like having a drink, at your favorite bar. You feel like, I'm not judged. I can just be relaxed for a couple of hours. So it's a real one of a kind. What we do is unique in the community. Nobody else does what we do. Boots on the ground, we call it. And it's just a beautiful thing to watch every time we do these events.
This episode of the Capital of Craft podcast is brought to you by Proper Pack. Looking for a way to stand out? Want to be environmentally responsible and financially prudent? Our new guild members have you covered. Proper Pack provides eco-friendly paper can carriers that are curbside recyclable, fully customizable, and affordable. Learn more and request free samples at www.theproperpack.com or email at info@theproperpack.com, because great beer deserves great packaging.
Yeah. Craft beer has put a lot of focus and emphasis on diversity, equity, and inclusion over the last couple years, and it's something that's always something to thrive for, and you're never going to fully get to where the goal is, but you need to continue taking those steps, and conversations like this and partnerships like this are a great way of doing that. It's really great to see yourself and your organization recognize how pivotal taprooms and breweries are within communities, and to hear your story that sometimes yourself and your family might not feel included because of the lack of awareness or acknowledgement of some of the circumstances that some people might thrive on and some people might have challenges in.
It is, and the other reason we're here is, as I mentioned, one of the signature events that we've been doing for 10 years is a partnership with Mike Hess Brewery and IB. Once a year, we have a fundraiser. We just had it last month. Wonderfully attended. It's beautiful. It was just so nice to see parents just have a taco and a beer and relax with their kids in like I said, a judgment-free zone. And that's what we wanted to kind of bring to the county. We want to really make ourselves available to other breweries around the county if they're interested to partner with us, have a happy hour, Autism Happy Hour for parents, give us a discount. You don't have to do anything. There's no guilt of fundraising. It's more like creating that inclusive space, maybe a quiet room in the back if somebody wants to bring, because a lot of the restaurants have, restaurants there. So if there's a quiet room in the back, some trained staff to know what to expect. Usually parents don't bring out kids with significant behaviors, but there are behaviors sometimes. And noise and sound and traffic, heck, it makes me act up. I mean, I don't like really super noisy, crowded, in your face places, and I avoid them. So why would, what we call a neurodivergent child be any different? So creating that space is really important, and we would love to see that countywide, from Oceanside to La Mesa. Every brewery that is interested, we would like to partner with you. I just wanted to also mention, we have a bunch of other signature events. We have a Autism Wellness and Health Wellness Conference coming up February 7. Usually sold out, but a lot of families attend that because they learn how to the latest technology, their latest theories and psychologists and parents. We also have a really fun one with the Comic-Con Museum coming up April 26th. It's called Lights, Camera, Autism, and a lot of autistic people are there. It's a fundraiser. We would love to have everyone there, and it's just, again, celebrating this community with as many different nonprofit partners like the Comic-Con Museum. Yeah, it's been a great partner for us.
Yeah, that's super cool. What typically do those, does the brewery taproom events look like? You mentioned, somebody with specific training, and this goes much beyond even the specific events you're putting on, but like what type of training is necessary? What are the resources for that? I opened a lot of bars and tap rooms, and first thing I would do is I would go in and crank some punk or metal and mop the floor and all that. But, that's probably pretty overwhelming for certain people walking through the door.
So, just before I got here, unfortunately I saw, and you see this online. So now that we're having this conversation, you're going to watch for it online, and you're going to have an ear and eye for what I'm going to tell you. A family with a child with significant behaviors went to a restaurant. The kids started acting up, and they got asked to leave. The training isn't about the servers or the brewery or the people that work there to have to know anything to deal with the child directly. Parents do that. But it's recognizing that these are behaviors. It's not their fault. It's not like they're trying to be malicious or disrupt the other patrons. It's recognizing that a family like this may need to be in a quiet corner. It's recognizing that maybe bright lights and a lot of flashing lights could be a trigger or antecedent to other behaviors, we call it. It's recognizing that they could have, I don't know, simple dietary needs. I mean, the movie The Rain Man, it isn't too far off. My son loves chicken nuggets. That's his favorite food, okay? And it's a certain, so we deal with that. And a certain type of chicken. I'm not saying everyone needs to carry chicken nuggets. I'm saying simple menus help, and being able to recognize, let's have a corner designated. I mean, you have sometimes a table designated for disabled patrons. Heck, you have pet-friendly hotels, right?
Yeah.
Pet-friendly hotels. Do I really have to convince anyone to have autism-friendly hotels and environments? I hope not.
Yeah.
So it's just recognizing that, and then the parents will deal with it. Just help being cognizant of the challenges that these parents face, and just going for a night out. That is such a tough thing. That is not easy.
Yeah. So it sounds like there's some environmental things that a brewery can do to be a little bit more inclusive and to allow people that are on the spectrum to actually enjoy their facilities.
Right.
And so you mentioned a couple of them: sound, lights, dietary things. Are there any other things that someone can, when they're setting up their brewery, or just like trying to figure out how to make their brewery more inclusive, that they could concentrate on?
Patience.
Yeah.
I mean, look, when you become a parent, the kid doesn't come with a manual.
Right.
When you become a special needs parent, they especially don't come with a manual. And then now we're asking the world around us to be patient with our child, which is really, I get that it's a difficult thing to ask, but I'm just telling you, as one parent, as one voice in this community, there is an entire growing community of autism families that is dying to get out and enjoy San Diego life like all of the rest of us enjoy. And having the patience to look at a family, look, the kid's acting up, he needs to go pace, and back he needs to have something, stemming, with different tools. The parents know all of this stuff.
Right.
But just to have, the servers and the environment being able to accommodate and being patient with that family is just, it could be transformational for our community to be able to include this growing segment. And I just want to tell you real quickly, in California, the statistic is 1 in 22. It used to be 1 in 56 nationally, but we're doing a lot of testing. It's growing in California. Thank God we have a lot of great services to help us. In San Diego, there's something called the San Diego Regional Center, which is a godsend. They're a nonprofit. They're a state agency, essentially, and they help all disabled community members. Almost half of their clients are autistic or intellectually disabled or delayed, developmentally delayed individuals. So this is a part of our community. So accommodating them in a modest way, a little patience, a little separation if they want it. Sometimes, of course, parents they want to sit with everybody else. But others like me, I look for a quiet corner or booth as far away from because I don't want to. I feel self-conscious. Believe me, all parents we see everything you see. So we're especially self-conscious when someone's disturbing. I don't get on planes because I don't know how my kid's going to act. You've seen kids act up on planes. You see videos, TikTok, on YouTube, unfortunately, and then they get asked to leave the plane. Right. So that's kind of my next conversation, being able to accommodate folks in travel environments and enclosed travel, which is, I know, difficult, but we need to find a way. Otherwise, we're just isolating this community in their own prison, which isn't fair.
Yeah, so you're talking about 5% of the population. That's a lot.
It's growing, unfortunately. It includes attention deficit disorder. It includes all kinds of anxiety, social disorder. It's not just developmental delays. And I think almost about 20% of them may be nonverbal, like my son. And when you say nonverbal, he doesn't use words in the context that you and I would. He understands language, thank God. My son does anyway, but somebody else's child could be a little different. But when we say nonverbal, they just don't use language to the extent that we use it. They understand it a little differently. They may use words out of context. So he verbalizes cookie, triangle. He says all these words, and he sometimes walks around the house making speeches, but he doesn't talk to me. And I tell you, it's a tough thing for a parent not to hear your kid's voice. Here we are, people are listening to our voices, and it seems like it's such an easy, turn on to your podcast and you're listening to something. But every parent I know who has a nonverbal child dreams of listening to their child's voice. That's a just tough thing not to hear it.
Yeah.
So, on top of, making sure your facility is a little bit more inclusive and a little more spectrum friendly, maybe what do you think about because they can partner with you and host some of these events, but it sounds like, if everyone did that, you'd be pretty busy.
Right.
But it doesn't mean they can't host some of these things on their own as well.
Right.
Like having like a reoccurring night, a reoccurring event where it's, where you can have that kind of friendly environment.
And look, there could be lots of different ways we do this. No one has a formula for this, but like in the MyCats example, they have, a dining, and so there's a big seating area, and everyone sits outside, and tacos and beer, and you can, the kids aren't in a bar, waiting for their next mission,
Right.
But it could be as simple as having a happy hour for autism dads or moms to take a break. It could be some discount or extending some promotion. Promotion that you already have. Nothing too big, just to recognize that, hey, we want your business, you're a part of this community wherever you are, from Oceanside to IB to La Mesa or the county, and just you're welcome. Let's just have and if you want to partner with us at making a little mini fundraiser, like or give away things, we're open to all of that. We just want to, this is our effort to create a more inclusive environment and make sure we're every part of the county where our population is. And believe me, autism doesn't discriminate per se. There's no geographic, socioeconomic boundary. So there might be a certain concentration based on population in the city center. But we have families from Lakeside to IB to Oceanside. And those parents, believe me, being a parent, I can tell you, this is one of my, if I get this right with the breweries, I would consider it a huge achievement. That parents and moms and dads need a break. If the family unit, the moms and dads that come to your breweries and take a drink, drive safely, by the way, drink responsibly. If they can't reset and just relax and then get back into what they have to do, that unit is not sustainable. Right. That's why I'm talking to the tourism industry. I'm talking to hotels to give discounts to autism families for staycations. I can't go to Europe for 2 weeks with my wife without any worry. We literally take vacations in breaks. So she takes our other son, neurotypical son, out to Europe for 2 weeks. I stay with my son, with my neurodivergent son. So even these types of things where maybe moms and dads can get away to their local brewery for a couple of hours, knowing that place is, has a happy hour or some kind of recognition that they appreciate what they're doing. It's just such a beautiful thing that you want in your community, right?
Are you passionate about the craft brewing industry? Join the community that's shaping the future of beer in San Diego by becoming a professional or affiliate member of the San Diego Brewers Guild today. Unlock exclusive benefits, including access to industry events, educational resources, and networking opportunities. Elevate your craft, expand your network, and make a difference in the thriving craft beer scene in San Diego. Visit sdbeer.com for more information and to take the next steps towards becoming the heartbeat of craft beer. Join the Capital of Craft podcast in the San Diego Brewers Guild, where passion meets discussion and education. San Diego Brewers Guild, celebrating craft beer in San Diego since 1997.
Well, it sounds like something that I definitely didn't think about is one way to take care of someone who's autistic or on the spectrum is to take care of their parents so that they can take care of their kid.
That's right. No one expects strangers to come take care of their kid, or even when we go outside. It's always on the parent. Yeah. But what we're trying to do, in fact, on my autism podcast called Autism Spa, if I may say, .com, SPA doesn't just stand for SPA, it stands for Supporting Parents of Autism. Because that is the most important unit that we need to build up. No amount of public assistance or grants, I don't know, whatever, social worker is going to be able to replace, no therapy, no hospital, what the parents can do, even if you're a single mom or a dad. And I just want to tell you, being in San Diego, we sometimes think of what's tough, who's a tough guy, who's a tough, Navy SEALs are tough, but a single mom taking care of 3 autistic kids, 4, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. And whatever your definition of tough is, being a single parent taking care of multiple kids on the spectrum, that's tough. They need a break.
Yeah. And showcasing and learning more about these communities, I think, presents opportunities for breweries to expand their business in their community as well. It sounds like what you're saying is there is society, like throughout society, there's a lack of acknowledgement or understanding of people with these different disabilities. Is that?
Yeah. Unfortunately, but one of the things, at least in my tenure, that I want to bring to this organization, if you're not aware of autism, I can't help you.
Right.
I am pushing for autism acceptance and advancement. I want our community to have access to the same business environment, education, recreation that everybody else does. Right? That's my goal. I'll have to let somebody else worry about making you aware of autism, because it's been too long. It's out there. If you're not, you could Google it, and you don't need me to explain what autism is to you. But that's why I kind of, again, one of the seeds of this conversation is we're trying to create an autism-friendly business environment, going to every business that will talk to us, from tourism, from breweries, restaurants, shops, and say, hey, listen, you could join our organization if you really want to commit to helping this community, and we'll come train your staff. We'll help you create those environments, and we'll drive business to it. I mean, I want to drive business to our local businesses. I mean, what else? I'm not going to drive business to somebody else, another county. And our community would love to patronize businesses if they embrace our community, right? If somebody says Autism Happy Hour, believe me, autism families will come.
Yeah.
They just don't always feel welcome and going out to those places because they don't want to, I don't know, create a scene.
Yeah, I think, obviously people are aware that autism is a thing that impacts our society, but I do think there's still like stigma or sensitivity to it, where there's like people aren't comfortable enough yet addressing it. And I think organizations like your own and coming outside of your organization to connect with somebody like ours will help people find more comfort. And once they're more comfortable, I think they're going to be more likely to take action to be inclusive.
That's a great way of putting it. I think that's exactly my secret plan.
Yeah.
to talk to as many people outside of our silo that have nothing to do with autism, and begin to cooperate and socialize how we can work together and help our community. I just want to say one thing about the purity and the honesty of people that get diagnosed with autism. There are a lot of autism self-advocates. Some of them on our board. You see them. They're fantastic people. Pure honesty and clarity of thought, it's just a beautiful thing. I don't think everybody can be as honest as autistic people are.
Yeah.
If I told you, okay, next time you go to work tomorrow, go to tell everyone at work what you really think of them. I bet you couldn't. And then now I wonder who's a disabled one, because autistic people are honest. My son, when I have a pimple on my face, he comes up, even with nonverbal, he puts a finger right on the pimple on my face. I go, look, he's got something that doesn't belong on his face. He's honest. And that's a beautiful thing. I don't think that should be something that be labeled.
Yeah. I mean, I have one, I know we're kind of running out of time, but one thing that I would like to touch on quickly is, we've talked a little bit about autistic kids and families. How can breweries work a little bit more with autistic adults and make sure that they're a little bit more?
Excellent. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. Totally blew my mind. In this life, in this world, we deal with all kinds of challenges, and children to adults. High-functioning autistic adults are some of the most underemployed parts of our community. We are trying to accelerate and promote that. So literally people come to me and say, look, these are autism parents and philanthropists. I want to start a business just so I can hire autistic people. Another parent entrepreneur is Ollie's Cookies. This mom, fantastic super mom that she is, created this cookie company. Ollie is her son, and she makes cookies, and her dream isn't to make $1 million and get a Lamborghini or something. Her dream is to be able to develop this program so she can hire more neurodivergent people. Isn't that a beautiful thing? So I think you could certainly work with us and help, and other organizations to help create job opportunities, simple job opportunities. A lot of these autistic adults that do come to us, some of them are super high functioning, by the way. I'm just saying, yes, they maybe work at NASA and they're they speak in languages that you and I can never understand. But others have significant challenges, but they still want to feel useful. They need to have a job that accelerates their core competency instead of focusing what they're not good at. Right? If I got a job focused on everything I'm not good at, that wouldn't be good for me either. So, simple, repetitive tasks, not a lot of social interaction in an environment where they can work quietly and alone. Sometimes I'm stereotypically here, folding clothes, cleaning up a little bit, putting cups in the same, just simple, repetitive tasks. Maybe some of us don't want to do. Believe me, there's a huge population that would love to do that simple job, whatever it is. And of course, there's groups that can help you work with that community.
That's amazing. So if anybody's looking to connect and partner with you, where can they find more information, or how can they get in touch?
Thank you. So the website, they can Google it, but the website is Autism Society San Diego.org. I know my name is tough, Shahriar Afshar, but I'm also on LinkedIn. I connect with a lot of people on LinkedIn. The email, all that stuff is really tough to say, but Google Autism Society San Diego, you'll find us top of the page. And if you're interested in any kind of event with us, we would love to bring this community to a brewery near you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for listening to the Capital of Craft podcast. If you'd like to hear more, make sure to subscribe, and you can follow us on all of our social media platforms at SD Brewers, and we'll see you at the next one.
Cheers.
Thank you.